I think it's time we clean this old 289 up and get this thing back presentable.
Responsible for my own actions. Y'all better act like you know. I ain't no saint, I'm a sinner, but my guardian angel is close. A part of me anchors a ghost, but I can't take back what I've done. You could say that I've hurt people's hope. I didn't do it for fun. All those people that doubted a bomb. I find my joy in their sadness. Learning how not to care takes practice, then becomes a habit. Yeah, it becomes a habit. Yeah, back to what I do. Catfish, Billy, baby, hello, how are you? Yo, Power 9, rappers like a power line, fell into a swimming pool. I think I got the whole crew. Ooh, let me know what y'all wanna do. I bought a 30 pack of Creek.
A little bit of a backstory with this engine. My dad and a good friend of his built this engine back, I want to say in the maybe early 80s, mid 80s, somewhere in there anyway. They built this little 289, which is like 10.5 to 1 compression, 202 valves. You know, 4-barrel intake, carburetor, and a small like economy RV type cam, and it's always had 1 5/8 long tube headers on it. So nothing crazy, right? Just points distributor, single points distributor, nothing crazy. But well, we're going to leave this engine in here, and we want to see how it kind of stacks up to, say, more of like a stock Fox body these days. Obviously, you know, we're not going to compare it to, you know, the turbo car, supercharged car, and things like that, but we're just curious, right? So that's the whole game plan. That's why this engine's in here. Plus, I just want to relive my teenage years, you know, when I was in high school driving this car around. The last time that I drove this car was probably 1997, probably something like that. So it's been a long time since this thing's been on the road. But today I want to go ahead and get this thing all cleaned up. I say all cleaned up. We're going to get all this grease and all this grime from down here around the bottom of the engine. And I want to start, you know, focusing on cleaning the engine up because, like I said, it's going to stay in here for a while. What I want to do today is show you guys how I go about that. It's simple. It's nothing more than a pressure washer, some scrubbing, and some degreasing. But I want to take you guys along for the ride to show you what you can do with just a little bit of determination and some degreaser. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing out, start cleaning. It's kind of nice to see this thing sitting outside like this. I don't know, it's weird. I love this car, guys. I love it so much. I have so many memories with this car. Man, I just absolutely love this thing. All right, so I have found that the super clean foaming works pretty good on stuff like this. It sticks pretty good. Now, what I do recommend is come in with some like brake cleaner, carb cleaner, something like that, and try your best to blow all this really heavy stuff off if you can. I wasn't able to really get down here, but you're gonna have to let this stuff soak for a while. So if there is a secret to doing this, I would say it is absolutely drench everything and let it sit, and then come in and agitate it with any type of brush or whatever you've got. Go ahead and agitate everything, and it will eventually break it up. Now, the valve covers, what we're going to do here is come in, clean these things up good, start sanding on them. We're going to paint them back black, and then I'm going to sand the tops of them off so that the ridges right here will be revealed again like it used to be. I'm sure you guys are thinking, oh man, I bet that thing was pretty back in the day, wasn't it? Well, yes, at some point in his life it was a pretty car, engine, and all that, but pretty much ever since we owned it, it's not been. It's always pretty much just been a project car. Let's look at that. All right, we're gonna let all that sit. I'm gonna get my little dinky electric pressure washer out that my dad always makes fun of me about. I'm gonna get that thing out and go ahead and start cleaning this stuff up. And I'll probably just do some time lapse I'll show you a couple real-time stuff, but really just want to get the car out and talk about it a little bit today and show you guys, you know, my process for getting ready to start painting stuff and touching up stuff. So that's what we're going to do today. See you guys in a minute. Oh yeah, you know it. You know we got to have some good music. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna set you guys up right here, and I'm just gonna start blowing some of this grease out of the way. We got everything degreased as best we could. Most all the grease and everything else is gone, so that's about all you can ask for. This is one of these deals where, like, when you're motivated, you want to get something done, but you still kind of half-ass lazy. That's what this is. We're not pulling the engine out and completely rebuilding it, powder coating everything. That's not what this is. This is one of those, like, hey, I want to make it look better, but I don't have a lot of time and I'm kind of lazy. That's what this is, but we're going to make it look really good. So here's the game plan. Papa T's over. Look at that. He's even watching Encanto. So we're going to snatch this intake off and pull the valve covers off. We're going to try our best to go ahead and smooth these valve covers out, shoot them black, sand the tops of them, and more than likely have to spray this intake, have to paint it, and then clear coat it. Got all the bolts out. Like I said, that didn't take but about 10 minutes. And we're going to pry this intake off, go ahead and get this thing off the car and start cleaning it up. Look at that though. Look at the valve train on this car. So clean, still to this day. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Huh. Damn. Look at that. Wow. That's crazy. That is freaking crazy. We're not gonna run this intake on the car, but I thought it was kind of cool to put it up there. This intake will be going on another Mustang, just not on this. It needs to be cleaned up as well, so I may throw it out there in the mix today and clean it up. But for right now, we want to run the original, the OG 289 intake we had on this thing. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna get out here, start cleaning this intake up. So we got this intake pretty clean. That's going to work for what we need to do. I'm going to take it out here in just a minute and spray it. But for right now, I want to show you guys what I'm going to be doing with the engine bay on this car for right now. So let's see. All right, so we have some satin black here. And what I'm going to do is just spray pretty much everything satin black, water pump and all. We will come back in later on and probably detail this engine in a different way. But as you can see, guys, we got to do something, okay? And I don't want to take the water pump off, trim everything out. I don't want to do all that. I've already sprayed this pulley. I've already just kind of sprayed a little bit over here. Like I said, this is temporary, okay? The black will help cover up any imperfection and things like that. I have a new fuel pump, so we're going to be putting that on here later on this evening. But for right now, we just want this thing to look good. So this is actually not black. This is like a bronze. What in the hell is going on with this? It's not black. What? Well, looks like the engine's going to be a bronze, I guess. That kind of took me by surprise. I didn't realize that this was going to be a bronze color. Yeah, whatever. It'll work. So anytime I'm doing something like this, that's not a restoration and I'm just trying to cover stuff up, I don't worry about, you know, painting over stuff. There's some things I will take off, but you have to know in the back of your head that you're going to be coming back to this at some point. So you just kind of have to go with it, because you'll work yourself to death on something like this that's just a get by, and makes it where it's not fun. As long as you're going to be back into everything, don't worry about it. Just like I said, get out here, have fun, guys. Make something look better than what it did. All right, well, I'm going to finish this up and we'll look at everything once I'm done. So let me show you what I'm going to be using today. Now, this is just an aluminum spray paint. It's paint and primer. It works really good. Now, it's going to look bright right now, so don't freak out. But once we put clear coat on this, the clear coat will actually eat into this and dull it down. So, guys, don't freak out. But look how good this stuff covers. Just watch. Look at that. I'll stand right back here and just watch how quick it covers. I mean, this stuff is amazing. You just put it on very light, hit your tight areas first. Now, if you're not going to be clear coating, I honestly don't recommend this because it looks like fake chrome. All right, well, that's pretty much it. You don't have to, you know, keep pouring this stuff on if you're gonna put a clear coat on it, and that is what we're going to be doing. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I am running out of daylight and it's about to start getting cold, so I need to go in here, mix up a little bit of clear coat, come out here, spray this thing, and we'll be done. Then it'll be on to the valve covers, and those are going to take a little while. Here's where we're at right now. Everything is starting to dry up. We're going to have a couple of new components, like I'm going to take the oil sending unit off, polish it up, clean it up, put a new alternator on. The new water pump will have its little shiny bits showing. You know, like I said, fuel pump, all that stuff, the valve covers, the intake, it should all pop. Like I said, something quick to do. All right, I'm going to go out here, mix up a little bit of clear, shoot this. I'll get back to you guys in just a minute. The wind is blowing in the opposite direction, guys. Just don't worry about it. Don't bother to comment about the cars and things like that. I know everybody is, but just don't. All right, y'all, check it out. We got one valve cover done. Simple process. We're not going to go too far with this. That valve cover looks good. We got our intake done. As you can see, it kind of dulled up a little bit. Got the front of the motor sprayed. Got a little bit of this over here, just like with a dust coat. I'm going to come back in and respray all this. Papa T is about to fire his car up. I'm going to go ahead and finish up what I got to do here, and I'll get back to you guys tonight, later on, after I kind of spray everything and whatnot. All right, guys, we got Ray in the house tonight. He come over to hang out. Papa T's gone. I'm going to turn this camera around and I'm going to show you the engine bay of the 65. I want to remind you all before I show you this that you can do anything that you set your mind to, okay? I always say this, just get out there and work. It doesn't have to be perfect. What we did today is absolutely not perfect, but it looks a lot better than what it did, this old rusted up mess, right? So sometimes just get out there, do some things to get by. You don't always have to go all out and spend, you know, tons of money and tons of hours and things like that. You can jump on something, make it look better. You can always come back to it later. All right, here is the final result. We don't have the carburetor back on yet, and we don't have all the wiring done, but it does look a lot better. So you guys enjoy. Eventually this motor is going to come out and we're going to repaint everything, probably rebuild it at some point. But honestly, if you guys saw earlier underneath the intake here, this engine's probably going to run a while. It's actually really clean under here. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the way that this is coming out right here. Ray actually remembers this car from back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Ray actually has a story. You want to tell the story just real quick? Like, he had a bone stock 95 silver GT, and I was driving the Gray Ghost, and we got out there one day. Now, I don't remember it happening this way, but Ray claims that it did. So, but we lined up, and what happened from there?
So we lined up, counted it down, we left. Let me tell you a little bit before this. So the passenger seat was a milk crate, and one of our buddies was sitting on the milk crate. And we took off. Of course, I bailed him out the hole or whatever pretty bad. And I heard him when he hit second gear. When I hit third gear, he come by me like I was tied to a stump. And my buddy sitting on the milk crate was actually laying in the back seat, and I slung him off the daggone milk crate or whatever. But yeah, I got gapped by like 2 or 3 car links that night.
Ray tells the story. I do remember us racing, and it did take me a little while to come around him. But yeah, that was always just a fun story. Ray's told that story for years and years, so he's fully aware of this car. He remembers it, and man, this was just the car back in the day. Tell him, Ray, it never looked much better than it does now. This is I can tell you that this is the best this engine bay has ever looked.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt, and it's
primer gray, black steel wheels.
Pretty much, guys. That's all this thing was rattle can primer. And whatever else, but it is coming along. Our fenders are on the way. We've got a bunch of new parts. I don't think I actually showed you guys that I did put the fuel pump on, and got to put a new oil filter, stuff like that. I just cleaned some stuff up, painted the fins on the alternator, cleaned that up. But all right, well look, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and as always, thanks for watching.